Emily Carson had never been one for chaos. She liked her world predictable, manageable, and orderly. As a single mother raising her 15-year-old son, Ryan, in the quiet suburbs of Oak Ridge, her days were filled with work, cooking dinners, and making sure homework was done before bedtime. She had built a life where she and Ryan were a team, looking out for each other. But sometimes, even the most stable lives get shaken by a moment no one sees coming. That Thursday evening had started like any other. The rain outside tapped against the kitchen window as Emily put the last dish into the drying rack. She had promised herself an early night, but before she could head upstairs, she remembered the box in the attic. It was full of old photos, letters, and memories, things she had been meaning to sort for years. Ryan was upstairs in his room, music playing faintly through the door. Emily figured she could take an hour to go through the box, maybe find a few keepsakes to frame. She climbed the attic steps, switched on the single dangling bulb, and knelt beside the cardboard box in the corner. The moment she lifted the lid, a wave of nostalgia washed over her. Inside were photographs from her college days, postcards from her late parents, and even the hand-knit baby blanket Ryan had once been wrapped in. She sat on the dusty floor, smiling as she flipped through each piece of her past. One envelope caught her attention. It was marked with her best friend's handwriting from 20 years ago. As she read the heartfelt letter inside, tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't sadness exactly, more a bittersweet mix of gratitude and longing. She hadn't realized how much she missed the version of herself who had dreams beyond daily responsibilities. She heard footsteps downstairs. Thinking it was Ryan, she quickly wiped her face. But instead of him calling up to her, she heard the front door open. Her heart skipped. Who could that be at this hour? She set the letter down and headed downstairs. Standing in the living room was her younger brother, Michael, holding a large canvas. "Surprise," he said with a grin. "I made this for you. Thought you could use a little art in here." Emily was genuinely touched. Michael was an art teacher and often surprised her with his work, but this time, the painting was deeply personal, a beautiful depiction of her and Ryan in their backyard, laughing under the oak tree. She threw her arms around him in gratitude, holding on longer than usual. She didn't notice Ryan coming down the stairs. When he stepped into the room and saw them hugging tightly, his eyes widened. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice tense. Emily let go immediately, realizing how it must have looked from his perspective. She opened her mouth to explain, but Ryan had already turned away, storming back upstairs. For the rest of the evening, Ryan avoided her. He didn't come down for dinner. He didn't answer when she knocked. Emily's chest ached. This wasn't just teenage moodiness, he thought he had seen something he hadn't. That night, Emily barely slept. She replayed the moment over and over, wondering how to make him understand. By morning, she decided not to let the misunderstanding linger. At breakfast, she sat across from him at the table. "Ryan," she began softly, "I think you might have misunderstood what you saw last night." He shrugged without meeting her eyes. "It's fine. You don't have to explain." "Yes, I do," she said firmly. "That was your Uncle Michael. He brought me a painting he made for us. I was just thanking him." Ryan froze mid-bite. "That was Uncle Michael? I didn't recognize him with the beard." His cheeks flushed. "I thought," he stopped himself, embarrassed. Emily smiled gently. "You thought something else. And that's okay. But I never want you to think I'd hide anything from you." Relief softened Ryan's expression. "Sorry, Mom. I guess I jumped to conclusions." Michael came by later that day, and Ryan got to see the painting up close. He even admitted it was actually pretty cool, which was high praise from a teenager. That night, Emily hung it in the living room where they could all see it every day, a reminder that misunderstandings could be cleared with a little honesty. From then on, Ryan became more open about asking questions rather than assuming answers. And Emily learned that sometimes, even the most uncomfortable moments could strengthen trust. Life went back to its steady rhythm, but with a little more warmth between them, a quiet understanding that they'd face misunderstandings together, and always talk things through.